Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Simplifying Business Studies and myself Kashish Talwani. Today I am going to explain the merits and demerits of cooperative organization. In our previous session we understood the meaning of cooperative organization and its features. So children, this is going to be part 13 of chapter 2 of class 11th, forms of business organization. Before I go forward, I would like to request you all to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet. And if you like it, you can also share it with your friends. So let us quickly start with our session today. So let us understand the merits of cooperative organization. Very first and very important merit of cooperative organization is equality in voting rights. So a cooperative society works exactly like how democracy works. So it has a democratic system to follow. They are based on the principle of one man, one vote, in spite of the fact that how much everyone is contributing. All the members have equal rights and equal chance to participate in the management of business. It really doesn't matter what amount of capital they have introduced, they have brought in to become a member of this kind of society. They will always have equal rights in spite of their position, their investment, uh, their position in society as well. But in this particular cooperative organization, every person will have equal voting rights. Second second merit of cooperative organization is that it has limited liability. So limited liability means that a person, if this kind of organization will suffer any kind of losses, then in that case every member will be liable to pay only his share of the capital he has invested in. So their liability is limited to the amount they have invested. It is not unlimited like other forms of business what we have already covered, like sole proprietor and partnership, and also HUF. In HUF's case, only Karta has unlimited liability. So yes, unlimited liability is a good feature or a merit of cooperative organization. Stable existence. So this is also one very important merit of this kind of organization. A cooperative society has a separate legal existence from its members. So the death, insolvency or incapacity of any of the members will not affect the existence of this kind of organization. This kind of organization will have a stable and a continuous life in spite of the fact that members may come, members may go, but this kind of organization will have an existence which is stable, which is continuous, and definitely for a very, very long period of time. Economical functioning is another merit of this kind of organization. The operations are economical because all the activities are performed by members themselves. For example, while they are purchasing goods, while they are purchasing raw material, they are eliminating middlemen. So this is how they are like cutting on the cost of middlemen by getting the raw material themselves at a lower cost. So in cooperative organizations, they do not believe in maintaining a very large stock because of the lack of cash. So because they don't need to buy huge quantities of good, there is no loans or credits required. So generally there are no debts. So they believe in economical functioning by eliminating the expenses like advertising and selling expenses. So yes, it has very economical functioning. Support from the government. So cooperative organization also get certain benefits from the government. Government provides certain kinds of concessions and certain kinds of rebate in taxes to these kind of organizations. Also, the raw material which is required for any kind of production in such an organization can be brought from different government organizations at subsidized rates. So government also offers certain kind of loans at lower rate of interest and on easy terms. easy terms and conditions. So definitely this kind of organization have lot of support from government. Easy to form. Definitely this kind of organization is formed with certain legal formalities, but those legal formalities are very simple. uh, 10 members who have common interest can come together and they can form an organization which is called cooperative organization. Registration is simple, and it doesn't involve much of legal formalities, but whatever they are, they had to be complied with. Open membership. So this is one organization where any person can enter, any person can become a member of this kind of organization by just paying the necessary fees or the amount in the share of the capital. uh, Only thing which is required is that they should have a common interest like other members in the organization. So there is no restriction on the base of caste, creed or religion to enter this kind of organization. And yes, there is no restriction even to leave the organization. They can do that only by giving a simple notice to the organization. So these are the features of cooperative organization. Now let us understand the demerits after understanding the merits of this kind of organization. The first one is limited capital. Second being inefficient management. Third is lack of secrecy. Fourth is conflicts among members. And the last one is excessive government control. So let us understand all of them one by one. First, let us understand limited capital. So cooperative organization is formed by people who have limited resources. That is why they come together to help each other. They need help, and they need help because they might lack resources on their own. So limited capital is definitely one demerit of this kind of organization. And also the principle of one man one vote also discourage people. Even when the person is investing a share of more than one person, they get only one voting right. So this definitely discourages people to become a part of this kind of organization even if they have resources. Second is inefficient management. So cooperative organization is generally managed by its members only. So all the activities are definitely performed by all the members also, and definitely all these people may not be expert in all the professional areas. So they may lack the professional expertise which their business needs. So and definitely due to limited resources, they cannot afford to hire, they cannot afford to appoint the professionals in the concerned areas which they are looking for. So this is another demerit of cooperative organization. Lack of secrecy. So cooperative organizations, these are certain kind of organizations which are open with their discussions in the meetings. So it is definitely very difficult to maintain secrecy in the business because things are shared across all the members of the firm, and generally these kind of meetings are held at a public place. So maintaining secrecy is absolutely very difficult. Conflicts among members. So cooperative organizations generally have disputes, conflicts among the members because there is a huge lot of number as per the number of members is concerned. So members are all these people, they are general people, they have different opinions, they are from different sections of the society. They might have rigid attitudes which may not gel with all the other members in the organization. So and there can be a situation where certain selfish motive of members starts dominating, and they forget the self-service thing. So there is a huge possibility of having conflicts among the members. Last point being excessive government control. So cooperative society do get various concessions and benefits from the society, but in return there is excessive government regulation and control. There is definitely a lot of interference from the government parts also. It is essential for a government, for a cooperative organization to get its account audited by the auditor of a cooperative department, so that it can submit its accounts with the registrar of this kind of organization. So these are generally the regulations which restrict the flexibility and efficiency of the cooperative organization. So children, we are done with this particular session. If you have any doubts, you can always get in touch with me through the comment box or the email address which is there on your screen. I hope my content is useful and understandable to all of you. Hope you all have a good day ahead. Thank you very much.